Hey everyone. Today's topic, attractive people aren't worth drama. Have you ever noticed how the average person tends to make their romantic partner choices based almost on looks alone? They go after people they find attractive and they don't really tend to think about personality unless they're mature and they've realized that there's a reason you need to factor in personality as well and not just pursue people solely based off looks. Because sometimes you can end up attracting a very good looking person who creates a crap ton of drama due to their lack of inner work. And real quick, let me clarify the title of this video because I understand it may be a bit misleading. I'm not saying that all attractive people create drama. That is not true at all. But I am saying that quite often attractive people can create drama because of their lack of inner work. And this is a psychological phenomena, right? Usually people work on themselves because they kind of have to, because maybe they're dealing with a difficult past that forced them to level up, or because they're intelligent enough to realize that it's a smart route to take in life, or because there's some sort of incentive for them to better themselves. Maybe they want to make more money in their career, whatever it may be. But usually people don't exactly choose to work on themselves out of nowhere. They need to be like kicked in the butt to do it. That's why the average person doesn't work on themselves, right? You look around everywhere in life and you see a bunch of people who choose not to make themselves better human beings. There's a reason for that, because you're not really incentivized to do so just living your life normally. You need to have certain things happen to you that kind of push you in that direction. Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because attractive people, more so than most people, can kind of avoid many of these things that would incentivize them to work on themselves, because they often get what they want by their looks alone. And this does hold true for both men and women, not just women, because obviously we all know attractive women tend to have an easier go of life. They really do, because people are just so drawn to physical beauty. And if someone has a lot of that, they don't really need to do much. Take examples of like painters or people like that, people who are pursuing a skill. Quite often you'll have very talented people who are like not well known at all, and sometimes that can be because they're not that good looking. But then if you have a very attractive woman who's in that field and she takes pictures of herself with her art, she'll often blow up way quicker than a much more talented artist. And that has everything to do with the fact that she's attractive and people are drawn to that. I use that example because I'm very much into art, so I see this all the time on Instagram, where you have like a very gorgeous woman posing with art that's kind of not that impressive. I'm not trying to like be mean to them or anything, but really, like, come on. There are very talented people out there who are just forgotten because, well, some of them are horrible at marketing, but other times it's just, yeah, they don't have that physical beauty to help them get their name out there. So this is what I'm talking about. Attractive people quite often can get through life without ever needing to work on themselves, because there's so many simps out there, and the female equivalent of simps as well, who will just throw things at someone who's good looking, which leaves them with no real reason or incentive to better themselves. So there quite often can be a lot of attractive people who create a ton of drama because they haven't put in any inner work. So there you go. That's a psychological background for why this is a thing. But the whole reason I wanted to make this video is I want to remind you guys that looks are not everything. Please do not make that stupid decision of pursuing people only based on their looks alone and putting up with someone who creates a lot of drama. As I said earlier, I'm not saying all attractive people create drama. That is not true. But some of them do. And I want to make sure that you guys don't tolerate someone like that just because you're so drawn to their outward appearance. Like, I see this so often, and it's sad to see. Like, I've even seen some of my guy friends from time to time make this mistake, although it's not as common anymore because I've leveled up my friends. And usually, this is really funny, but a lot of my guy friends will, they've told me sometimes when they're making decisions, they'll think like, what would Josh say about this? So they'll actually think about my opinion before they do it, which is really funny to me. But hey, it's cool. If it's helping them choose better paths in life, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, it can be sad to see people choose to put up with an abusive person or someone who just creates a ton of drama simply because they find them very appealing to the eye. And you know, this does tend to be more common with attractive women because, as I said earlier, like they don't have to really work on themselves. And we all know both men and women will treat attractive women differently because there's just something about beauty and women. And I've talked about this in prior videos, but like even women can find something attractive isn't quite the right word, or maybe it is something appealing about a beautiful woman. Even women can be drawn to that. With good-looking guys, they're only going to get free handouts for the most part from women because guys will look at other good-looking guys and we're not going to be drawn to them. That's the way. So we're not going to want to help them rise above or anything. We'll just look at them and be like, that dude's good looking. He could probably get a lot of women. And that's that. But we're not going to like go out of our way to help him have an easier go of life. So this concept is a bit different for women than it is men. It's just the fact that they have that beauty that everyone can be drawn to. But then of course their personality can kind of make people get turned away. But I wanted to discuss this because so many people don't focus on the personality enough to be turned away from these people. If someone is causing a lot of unnecessary drama, you should not keep them in your life. No matter how good looking they are, no matter how many other ways they can actually benefit you, because they're going to bring you down over time. Like people who create unnecessary drama like that can really impact your mental health and your self-esteem over time. In fact, some of you may be familiar with this example, but there's a show out there called, I think like 90 Day Fiancé or something, and my sister used to watch the crap. Well, she probably still watches it, but there was one time where I was visiting my sister for some holiday. It was probably a Christmas a few years ago, and she was watching 90 Day Fiancé, and this poor gentleman decided to get with this chick who I believe was Russian or something, and she clearly was high maintenance. She wasn't even that good looking, to be honest, but she was decent looking, and he was just so enthralled by her appearance that he was willing to give her the world, like everything, and she did not appreciate anything he did for her. She was constantly screaming at him. She would call him on the phone and yell at him when he left for long periods of time because she'd get lonely. She was just incredibly unhealthy and toxic and created a ton of drama. That's a great example of what I'm talking about here, where someone can be good looking, but if they create a lot of drama, it's just not worth keeping them around. They could be the most attractive person on the planet, and if they're a horrible person, don't spend time with them, and do not make the mistake of hopping into a relationship with them. A lot of guys out there, maybe even women, you'll have to work on this whole like social proof and social status elevation that we often get from having an attractive partner. Like we all know that, right? We all know if we manage to attract an attractive partner, it can boost the way we look in the eyes of others. But that doesn't mean that you should just pick someone for their looks alone for that reason, because you could end up with one of those attractive people who've never worked on themselves because they've never had to. And now you're left with this person who's creating all this drama in your life just because you want your family and your friends and other people to look at you and go, wow, I'm jealous. They've got such an attractive girlfriend or boyfriend. It isn't worth it, guys. It is not worth it. Instead, just stop caring so much what other people think of you, and it won't be an issue. Now you can go for people because you like them and not because of what other people will think of you for having them in your life. So yeah, there's a lot of psychological stuff in this topic, but hopefully you understood the gist of what I'm getting at here. And yeah, it's a really interesting thing, and I just wanted to bring it up. I know that many of you probably do focus on personality more than looks, so this video probably is more for people who would be new to my content, just to kind of remind them that, hey, you know, it's worth it to focus on looks or personality over looks, because looks, you know, they fade over time. And you have to deal with someone's personality once you choose them. Like looks only get their foot in the door, but beyond that, like you're not marrying their looks, you're marrying their personality. And if they've got a horrible personality, you are signing up for a life of unhappiness and just what might as well be slow torture. So don't do it. Play the smart game. Go for looks and personality combined, not just looks. That's the right way to do it. Obviously, you want to be attracted to the person that you choose so that you can, you know, actually do things in the bedroom with them and it not be awkward and weird. So attraction, physical attraction is important. But you also want to make sure you're actually attracted to their personality as well, that you actually enjoy having them in your life. That's the important part. If you could see yourself living without that person and being happier without them, that is not good. That means you should not pursue that person. But if you could see yourself living without them and it wouldn't be as great, that tells you that this is someone you want to keep in your life, because life without them wouldn't quite be as good. So there you go. That's all I wanted to talk about. This video is getting way too long, so I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, just leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. That's a very helpful way to help me out and make sure this video gets shown to other people. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.